What up, family? What up? Do you have condoms? We're covering Seeking Sister Wife, season 4, episode 5. Hey, Crystal. Hey, girl. Hey. Um, I I know I say the same thing, you guys, over and over in every single episode, but I'm just blown away. I'm blown away how these men are considered the prize. I'm blown away by that. I don't think I'm going to ever be able to let that go, especially this season. So we're going to start off with the Davis family. So as we know, April, Nick, Jennifer, they're courting Danielle, and they're going to have like a girls' time. So they're going for coffee to chat about the lifestyle, to make sure Danielle's fully committed and fully on board. And just to make sure that they all vibe, because the women all have to vibe, right? Because Nick is the prize. So they all have to be like connected, which makes no, I mean, okay. So they sit down. The two ladies, April and Jennifer, want to know how Danielle's date went and like how she's feeling about the situation. Does she feel comfortable? Does she like Nick? Does she want to be with them? They want to start a family? Does she want kids? Like all that was happening in this little coffee date. And they're encouraging her to be open about her feelings, have self-reflection, express how she feels. Hey, Mandy. Hey, girl. Hey. Because that's going to be all important in developing into this polygamous lifestyle. And then what I noticed, you guys, about this episode is that I think April is in charge. I think she's in charge. Like, if April doesn't like it, it's not happening. Nick might be like, oh, the stay-at-home dad that gets to live off of all the women for free, but April runs shit. Like, that's the vibe I got from this episode. She was driving stuff. She's asking the questions if she doesn't like it, because she's been with Nick the longest. So she's in essence allowing this to happen, whether she's like, I'm kind of fed up with this bum, but I've been with him for so long. So yeah, let's bring on some more sister wives so that I don't have to continue to take the burden of paying for everything. If we all split, we split this 3, 4, 5 ways, then it won't even feel like a burden. He's just like an extra child. She didn't say all that. I'm saying all that. Crystal says Danielle was like a bobblehead this episode. Yeah, she was a little bit. So, yeah, I don't think anything gets by April. If it doesn't go by April, it's not happening. That's how I feel. She's the boss. So anyways, April also says that, it was easier with Jen and quicker with Jen because there was less people to get to know. But let's not forget that Jennifer's young. She's in her like mid-20s. And they keep saying that she's so much older than Danielle. Well, it's like 22 and 24. She's not that much older. Y'all been seeking out these young girls for a long time. And he said something specifically that I'm going to refer to in a minute that just grossed me out. It grossed me out, you guys, because, he's an older man and they're fishing for these young girls who haven't even started their lives yet. So, like, if you reel them in at an early age and they don't know any better, then yeah, I guess this is the life that you're going to have. But why are you not trying to look for a sister wife that's more age appropriate towards you, right? And I know age is just a number and all of this, but I feel like especially with this alternative lifestyle, these young girls, I don't know if they really know what they're getting into. And like, I don't see how Nick is the prize. Oh my God, I agree with you. Also, I take issue with a man being in the car who isn't driving. Maybe that's me. They have such low expectations of this guy outside the peen. It's so strange. I agree with you, Crystal. What was one of my notes? I was like, so he don't work, he don't cook, he don't clean. He's not really a stay-at-home dad because that kid is grown and obviously never in the house. And now you don't drive. You just kick it. You're like they should claim you on their taxes because you literally are just like a grown-ass child living your life for free off of these two women. It's outrageous. Like, if you're going to live this lifestyle and you're going to be like, oh, I'm the head of the household, but then you're not even really the head of the household, like, what are you then? I ask you guys, I implore you to answer this question. What does besides his penis, what does Nick bring to the table? Don't know. Still trying to figure it out. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, girl. Hey. So they're having this coffee with her. Danielle's just worried about feeling secure and equal in the relationship because she would be the newest person coming in. She does want to have kids. And what was interesting is April wants to have more kids too, and she wants her future sister wives to have more kids so they're one big happy family. But Danielle's like, it's going to be an adjustment. It's going to be an adjustment because I live by myself now and I would have to get used to adjusting to living with people. And then Jennifer's like, oh, and sharing a bed. And listen, y'all, I'm still grossed out by last week. So you want 4 grown ass people to sleep in one bed? And then you explain how they'll each have their alone time, but at the end of the night, you all jump back into the bed. So if Nick is having sex with April, then Jennifer and Danielle stay to the side. And then after they have sex, then everyone just jumps into that nasty bed all together and you all sleep in the juices. That is so gross to me, you guys. I cannot. But that's what they want to do. Okay. 4 people sharing one bed is weird to me. Sorry, not sorry. And then they're planning this long weekend. We're going to have a staycation. They're going to go rent a bigger house because they live in a tiny house right now. And just fun fact, apparently they bought a new house. So they've moved into a bigger and better place. Just FYI, in real life, they've moved from that tiny house recently. That belongs and is in April's name. So again, she's the boss. So they're planning this long weekend staycation, and Nick says, he's in love with Danielle. And I was like, did I miss something this season? Were you courting her before? Because you guys went on one private date, just one, and you had sex one time from what I can see. And now you're in love with her. You're just in love with her because you get to have sex with a new person. You're in love with her, Nick? Stop it. So then they're packing up to go. And like Crystal said too, something that popped up to me is that he sits in the back of the car. What are you doing? Why are you not driving? Do you even own a car? Like, why are you not driving? It makes no sense to me. What is that? Honestly, what is that? Someone needs to tell me. I keep saying this. What does he bring to the table? You ain't doing shit, dude. You're not driving. You're not cooking. You're not cleaning. You're not working. What is it? All you do is sit down and read all day, allegedly. Facts, Vanessa, facts. The oldest one, April, seems to be over being close to him. She's just house mom now. Facts. And I know you came in a little bit late, Vanessa, but I think that she runs shit. And she's like, listen, let's bring on more sister wives so I don't have to carry this financial burden by myself. Crystal said, I didn't see his car seat. That's funny. Vanessa says he probably has a suspended license. I just think he's lazy. I think that he just doesn't do shit. That's what I think. I think he just doesn't do anything. He just thinks that he can, whip out his penis and that's good enough. That is what he's bringing to the table, his penis. Oh, so outrageous. So then they pick up Danielle. And she's an anxious talker, right? So she's like talking about a mile a minute. She's like, oh, it'd be great if we all live together and we can be together as a family because my family's out of town. And, I don't get to go to... And she realizes that she's an anxious talker and she talks a lot when she's anxious and nervous. And I'd be nervous too. You just started dating this group of people. Now they're driving you and taking you away and you don't know anybody. Did you call a friend? Tell a friend where you're going to be? You don't know these people. You don't know if you're coming back from this little mini staycation. Overnight staycation. Staycation from what? Nick doesn't work. So then they're talking about, the sleeping arrangements. And apparently Nick is going to sleep with Jennifer in the bed first because it's not a big enough bed. And then the second night, Nick is going to sleep with Danielle. And April's cool with it because April's like, I've slept with him alone enough all these years. I'm cool. Like, I literally think, like Vanessa said, she's over this. She's just like, now we're collecting women because these women will help me collect the checks because Nick doesn't work. So the more money we bring in, the less of a financial burden. Facts. That's what I believe. So did you guys peep the part where Nick was in? I can't wait to talk to you guys on News and Gossip. Okay, so did you peep the part where Jennifer and Nick were in the bedroom and they're like being intimate with each other, whatever, kissing, and she's sitting on his lap. But then when he went and kissed her and says to her, I love you, little girl, as he kissed her, I don't know about you, but that freaked me out because she's already young as it is. And you referring to her as your little girl, as you doing a romantic gesture, I don't know, y'all. It just was highly suspect to me. And I didn't like it. And then now you're courting an even younger girl. And in your mind, you're not even looking at them as grown-ass women. You're looking at them as little girls. And you're referring to them as little girls. Ew, gross, ew, bleh, Midwife says, to me, he comes off as a bit slow. And Vanessa says, this whole show perplexes me, but these guys particularly. Listen, these guys this season particularly are not only perplexing, but I'm just trying to figure out what the women are what's the prize in this? What's the prize in this? What are you getting out of this relationship? If I ask this question to you guys, what is April and Jennifer and Danielle getting out of this relationship besides penis from Nick? What would we say? I'll wait. Moving on to the Foleys. Crystal says, I mean, some of them have money. I can't think of anything from Nick. That was the question. What is he bringing to the table besides penis? So far, no one has an answer for me. All right, let's talk about Brenda and Steve. Brenda does not want to share her husband. Brenda does not want to share her husband. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but this one right here, y'all, listen, she's sabotaging this whole situation 100%. Vanessa says, I mean, they could cut him loose and have one less mouth to feed. Facts. Facts. All right, so Brenda does not want to share her husband. And so I guess they're in Dallas to visit his two kids from his previous marriage. That, remember, he was married to that woman. They have two kids. And then Steve brought in Brenda to the relationship. And the ex-wife wasn't feeling it. And that's why she bounced. And she, according to Steve, she had negative influences. No, she realized that this is not the life she signed up for. She had a husband, she had kids, and all of a sudden the husband wants to bring in another wife, and she wasn't feeling it. So she's like, no, this lifestyle's not for me, and I don't want to be a part of it. So she left, and she took her two kids. And so they're in Dallas to visit Preston and Jaden, his 18 and 16-year-old. And part of this trip is also to take a break from April. And I was like, take a break from April because Brenda's feelings are hurt. Y'all just took a cruise to be away from April. So every single time you're going to need to take a break. I don't know why Steve is not seeing that. his wife is doing this on purpose. If she feels like she can sulk enough and say her feelings are hurt enough, or she's not spending enough time, or she doesn't like me enough as a bestie, she's not being my sister wife, she's not connecting with me every single time she complains, you're going to take a break from her? Steve, wake up. Can't you see that your wife doesn't want to do this? And Brenda, you came into the relationship as a third, so you stop it. Just stop it. You knew what you were getting. You knew who your husband was. You knew what your husband was about, but you thought somehow, some way he was going to change his ways and only have his eyes for you. Facts. If you want a bestie for your wife, stop recruiting women who are young enough to be her kid. But he doesn't really care about them being besties. He just wants this younger, harder version of his wife. That's what's happening. And it's a pattern if you think about it. His first wife left him and he had Brenda, and now he's still looking for someone younger and younger and younger, and he doesn't want to let go of April, even though the signs are there that Brenda is not interested in having April in the relationship. Brenda is 100%, mark my words, 100% sabotaging this courting situation with April. She's sabotaging it 100%. That's it. That's all. Anyways, they are in Texas, so they're going horseback riding. I could tell in this episode that he doesn't have a very good relationship with his children. There's something going on. He even says that there's a distance between them, and he even says that the relationship is strained. Yeah, it's strained because you literally said that you've been too busy for your kids. You've been too busy building your bigger, newer house so that you can add sister wives rather than spending time with your children. You said, yeah, you travel for work. I get that. But if you're traveling for work, in my opinion, make some time in your travels to spend time with your kids. So you wonder why the relationship is strained and you don't get to see them and all the things. This is why, is you're not spending time. And as a parent, I would think that your children are your first and foremost priority rather than all this friggin' dating and you needing to find another seeking sister wife. I think that maybe mend your relationship with your kids, and your kids are telling you exactly what they need. Did y'all see how Preston, 18, the son, was just like, he looks up to his dad? He wanted any attention his dad can give him. Like, you could just feel it. And he's like, whatever, I support you. And, he was just, you could tell, like, he's looking at, this is my dad. I want to spend time with him. I want to get to know him. That's the vibe I got from Preston. Like, anything to just be in his grace was good enough. Meanwhile, Jaden, obviously she's 16. She's going through that, 16-year-old phase. But she also, too, is surviving a divorced relationship and then finding out that this woman that was part of the reason why there was a divorce is now the wife, and now the wife wants to bring in a new best friend. And she said all the things. Like, that's a lot for a 16-year-old to take in. And she even said it, like, can you imagine if you were 16 and having to explain this situation? Krista says, I wonder if the daughter can get a sense that it won't work and Brenda doesn't want that. That daughter was saying how she really feels. She said, I find his lifestyle disgusting. Facts. And Vanessa said, I'm with the daughter. Just divorce her and get a girlfriend. And I got the same vibe from the son. Yeah, like really seeking that attention. Listen, why not just get divorced and be single and date as many single people as you want and focus on that if that's what you feel you need. That way, you're not spinning up your children who are clearly not comfortable with your lifestyle. And it's clear here that you don't necessarily need to be married. You can court all the women you want as a single man, because clearly something here is not working. It's not working, and it's not working for Brenda. It's not working for your kids. The only person you're thinking about right now is you and your needs and your wants, and you want to be with April. So that whole dynamic with the kids was really, for me, it was hard to watch. And then him trying to mansplain why his ex-wife left him was irritating to me, saying that there was this negative influence that broke the relationship up. The negative influence was you. You decided that you wanted to scout around outside of your marriage, and your ex-wife was not having it. And then when she talked to other people, I'm sure they said, well, no, you don't have to put up with that. And hence, here we are. The only one that wants this lifestyle is him. Not even sure April is on board. Seriously. And then Preston talks to camera and says exactly what I just said, that the mom wasn't into it, wasn't into the lifestyle. And so she left. And Preston and Jaden actually didn't know that Brenda was in the, like, they called her Ma Brenda. They knew that she lived in the house, but they didn't know that they were all in a relationship until they were older. And now they just call Brenda Brenda because, according to Steve, his ex-wife doesn't like for the kids to call her Ma. But I don't think it's that. I think you haven't spent any time with them anymore. And as they grew older, you're just like, this is my dad's new wife, Brenda. I think it's more that than what Steve is trying to make it out to be. Because he even said he doesn't spend time with his kids or enough time with his kids. And, there's a strained relationship. Well, in that strained relationship, do you think that your kids who never see Brenda are all of a sudden going to start calling her Ma again? They will not. So they get back to the house and they're making her family traditional homemade chicken soup. He again says it's a complicated relationship with his kids. And as they're eating at the dinner table, Steve decides that he's going to tell his kids that they are looking to add a new person to the family. And it was that awkward silence, awkward silence, awkward silence. And then Preston, because again, I feel like he's just trying to support anything his dad does so that he can have more time with his dad. So Preston says, good for you if that's what makes you happy. And then he had a question. So this new person is going to be your friend and your lover. Like, how does that work? And Steve's like, yeah, I mean, that's one way to put it. Well, what other way is there to put it? That's exactly what it is. It's supposedly for Brenda to have a friend, because clearly Brenda has no friends, which is another thing I want to get into shortly. And it's for Steve to, have this 21-year-old be his lover. Vanessa says he probably did the same thing, pressured to bring Brenda in when the wife wasn't with it. Facts. And then the wife left. That makes sense to me. And it's a pattern of behavior. But they all knew, Brenda knew exactly what she was getting into because she's the one that went into it. So Jaden wasn't having it. Jaden's like, you know what? I think, first she said, would you be okay if Brenda brought in another husband or another boyfriend? And Steve looks at her and she's like, oh, that's not what I'm looking for, at least not yet. And then she's like, this whole thing is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. She's like, you're a parent. And I think whatever this lifestyle was, you should have decided if you were going to be in this lifestyle or you were going to be a parent, because you can't do both. And she's like, it's confusing. I think it's disgusting. I think you should have made some proper decisions before you had kids, because this ain't it. And then, just like Vanessa said, the daughter was like, Brenda, why don't you just get a friend? Which is what I said when I first met Brenda. Why doesn't she have any friends? B, if she needs to feel needed and all of that stuff, get a friend. Join a book club. Like, remember when I said that? Join a book club, join a knitting club, join a walking club, join a swim club, whatever it is, join a cook club, whatever it is that you like to do. Have a life outside of your husband, because right now, me looking at you, it's just like, it's all about your husband and you're like clinging on him and your husband wants someone else and has eyes for someone else, and you are so sad and you're feeling left out of his relationship with the other woman. Well, first of all, you came in as a third. Second of all, have your own life and do your own things, and perhaps you'll find your own friends, and therefore this whole situation wouldn't be such a Debbie Downer to you. And also, too, maybe you're not connecting as much as because this girl could be your daughter. So the dynamic you're looking for, the friendship, best friend, sister you're looking for, she's like 20 plus years younger than you. You guys are not going to be at the same level. So, and this girl has never been in a serious adult relationship, but yet you're expecting her to be your best friend. Brenda, why don't you have best friends of your own age? Why don't you have any friends of your own age? Why are you looking to this young girl who barely is out of her teens to be your best friend? It's bizarre. It really is bizarre. But Brenda doesn't want to share her husband. Exactly. You're auntie at best, Brenda. Exactly. Ridiculous. On to the Epps. Okay, first and foremost, Crystal sent me something that I thought I already knew, which is really, really good, is that, so the Lakeisha that they introduced, who they were like as a family friend, she's actually, and the one that dated him while they were in high school, she's actually one of his baby mamas. By him, I mean Marcus's baby mamas. So when she talked about like, ooh, she was a little jealous, but she wasn't really jealous because she wasn't going to try to live that lifestyle. What she was jealous of is that Marcus keeps bringing in all these young, hot women, and she is baby mama number one. Because, you know, he's got 10 kids from several different women. Which is, oh my God, like, do you not believe in condoms, Marcus? Like, oh, anyways. India is still reeling about her little fight that she had with Marcus, because guess what? Marcus wants to stick it into Bina, and India doesn't think it's time yet because it's still brand new, right? So she's still kind of reeling off of that. But it's her 30th birthday. Happy birthday to India. And they surprised her by bringing Chastity, I think it's Chastity, her sister, as her birthday present, which was, I thought was really sweet. And one of the interesting things about Chastity is that she spoke all the things that I would like. Those would all definitely be the questions I would have. She was like, you know, at first I didn't understand it. I was like, does my sister not think that she is good enough to be loved on by one person? When my sister met Marcus, he was single and she was single, and they were in a monogamous relationship. And then all of a sudden this happened. And then she says, though, she gets why it works. She doesn't tell us why she gets why it works, but she says she gets why it works. I don't really think so. I think she's just like she's putting lip service and being kind to the situation. Crystal says, yep, the mom is his oldest, who is in the military, very, very handsome young man. Okay, so that family friend, Lakeisha, is the first mom who has Marcus's eldest son, who is in the military. Got it. Crystal also says, honestly, I don't understand Marcus. I would not want him as a partner. However, I want to be friends with the wives. Also, they all seem much cooler on IG Lives. I like the wives. I've said that from the very beginning. I think that they seem very intelligent, very cool, very educated and beautiful and strong and smart, and they think things through and they communicate. Don't necessarily think that about Marcus, but I do think that about Taryn and India for sure. And even like the sister Chastity bringing up all the questions that I was like, yeah, ask that question. Ask why she doesn't think that she's worth one person. And oh, by the way, so now they're trying to bring in this new Bina girl, which Chastity, India's sister, does not agree with, because she's like, well, then India's going to be like the new kid on the block because they've all had like a 10 plus year friendship. And then she goes on to say, and why didn't she get with them then? Right? Why didn't she get with them then? And then Taryn was like, oh, because we weren't living the lifestyle then. So exactly when did you start living the lifestyle, and why do you think it was okay, Taryn? Because the part I don't get is that you left him because of his philandering, cheating ways, and then you came back to him to accept the fact that you're going to live a lifestyle where he can philander and it be okay. Like, I don't get it. And even with India, my question would be, you met him, he was single, and he proposed to you. So you thought you were going to be in a monogamous relationship. And then he just whisks in his ex-wife and wants you all to be together. And you all accepted it. And I want to know why. Why did you decide, like, oh, okay, well, if I can't have him 100%, then I'm going to have him as much as I can and I'll share him? Why is that? And then, so when Chastity was asking that, she also asked, and if she's coming into the relationship now, did she always have feelings for your hubby back then? Or did she just start developing feelings now? Because that's a valid question too, right? So all the questions, I wanted some answers, didn't get really any of the answers that I was looking for. Like your buddy Gerard, maybe it's a money thing, multiple incomes, trying to build wealth, etc. I don't know, because with Gerard, it's not that. Gerard is already self-sufficient. He's already loaded, and so I don't think it's that with this dude. I don't know. Vanessa thinks that Marcus and Bina have already hooked up. I mean, that's possible. They've hooked up and now he's trying to backpedal so he can explain the fact that he's already hooked up with her. So, so they're throwing this party. Apparently Marcus is an excellent cook or excellent griller, one of the two. So he's going to be making all the food. They're doing some survival kits because they all plan to drink a lot and don't want to be hungover in the morning. We get to meet Sharnetta, Marcus's sister, and Lakeisha, Marcus's first girlfriend, baby mama. And they're all sitting down having drinks. More great questions are asked, like, who's trying to find a sister wife? Is it all of you guys, all three of you, or is it Marcus? And we find out from India that it's really Marcus, as I've said, from the whole time I've been introduced to him. This fool does not need to be married, okay? He's using the disguise of a polyamorous, polygamous lifestyle so that he can just bang whoever he wants to bang, honestly. That's how I feel about Marcus. I think, given his history, having 10 different babies by like 6 or 7 different baby mamas, and none of the kids really living with him except I think the one girl and boy, not sure. I thought we were introduced to him, or introduced to them in the first episode. And I think that they're Taryn's kids, but I'm not even sure about that. And so I just think he wants to like just go out and randomly have sex. And so even when she says he's the one that fishes and reels them in, I thought that was a really crazy analogy, because you're literally fishing for new prey, new wives, because you want to have more women, and then they have to see if they get along with the women that you already have. I don't know. Something that doesn't sit right with me for this guy. I think that these women, I dare say it, I think these women are better than him, and I think that they deserve better than him. And I think that they're settling, and I can't figure out exactly why they're settling, because they, like I said, they're all very well spoken and beautiful and successful and all the things. And I just don't, you have a dude that has a scandalous background. You know, there's talks of dead people and government scandals and lies and all the things. So yeah, I agree with you, Crystal. They're trying to make it sound like the lifestyle is what they wanted. They basically just didn't want to give up the guy that cheated on them and agreed to stay so that they could both share the same guy that cheated on them. Those are facts. Those are facts. And even more so, I would say that the two women get along very well and maybe wanted to preserve that friendship over anything else. And Marcus is just like what they have to deal with in order to live like this. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But again, this situation is very perplexing to me. Um So Lakeisha said a whole bunch of stuff that she had preconceived notions about India. She thought India was the other woman. She thought India was the one that broke up the marriage between Taryn and Marcus. And I bet you Marcus had a part to play in that belief. Do you know what I mean? Like, Marcus, did you not say that Taryn actually left you because you cheated on her one too many times? Did you tell the baby mama that, or did you tell the baby mama, oh yeah, you know, I met this girl and Taryn wasn't really into it, and you know what I mean? Like, you obviously didn't tell the proper story for Lakeisha to actually believe that India was the other woman. Like, either you didn't tell her what lifestyle you were trying to lead, you were just starting to try to lead that lifestyle, or you were just constantly cheating and you cheated again and got caught. He's so shady. He has a big ego to want to be on TV. He sure does. He sure thinks he's the prize. And let me tell you, these internet sleuths are finding more and more things about him every day, and it's not all that. He's not all that. His partners are all that, but he's not all that. Last and certainly not least, you guys, because I just think that Tasha's like, go ahead, Sidian, go for like 6 months. Did you bring condoms? Now, either Tasha is just the real epitome of the polygamous lifestyle, or Tasha is just sick of her man and is like, go, go, whatever it is. She's helping pack. She's like putting the shoes in the bag, zipping the bag up. She's like telling him, you know, let's hurry. We don't want you to be late. Quickly, let's get your stuff together. We got to get you on that plane. Did you bring condoms? If you didn't, I packed them in the bag for you. All right, peace out. Love ya. Here's a hug and a faux kiss. See ya. She was more excited for his trip than he was, in my opinion. She was just like, let's get this party started. Vanessa says that she had a dude around the corner waiting to pull up. She's like, I just really feel like it's very important for them to spend time together. They really need to see if they get along. And then Sidian's hoping that they have a connection in real life, right? Because he really wants this to work out. And he's like, he has high hopes for it, but he has a sinking feeling that it won't work out. And I was like, you always have to go with your gut instinct. So I feel like he's foretelling something about the situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you say that if it's not going to work out? Wait, why would you say that if you think it's going to work out? putting in the doubt that it won't work out unless it's not going to work out. That's what I meant to say. So, y'all, I don't know. Tasha had me rolling. She had me rolling about how excited she was. It was out. Unbelievable. Like I said, she's either the epitome of this lifestyle or something else is going on. She's just like, peace out. Bye. Krista says, I agree, Vanessa. She's counting down the hours for decent peen. He seems to have negative vibes and she's kind of pushing it. So yeah, that was this episode. Listen. Again, I don't know if any of these people really want to be in this lifestyle. The only person that really wants to be in this lifestyle is Nick because he gets a free ride. Free ride. He gets to sleep with whoever he wants and he can just read books all day. Must be nice. They feed him, they clothe him, they sex him down, they drive him around. Oh, Lord. I cannot. And Tasha. Yeah, Nick and Tasha. Yep. Those are facts. All right, guys. I will see you guys shortly. I'm covering The Family Chantel at 8 p.m. So be there, be square. And you guys don't forget to tell a friend about the channel. Apparently, I'm doing YouTube and all of it all wrong, you guys. So I'm trying to correct that. So tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Love you, Patreon family. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Tasha is the polygamy cheerleader. She sure is. She sure is.